Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a loop, starting something new with fire in your chest, only to quit a few days later? You tell yourself, this time it's different. But by day 3, the spark dies, the pressure hits, and everything feels heavier than you expected. You look around, and it seems like everyone else has it figured out while you're still trying to hold it together. That's where most people stop. They walk away, they quit, and they spend the rest of their lives wondering why nothing ever changes. But here's the truth, what breaks most people doesn't have to break you. This speech is not about giving you a feel-good moment. It's about waking you up. It's about helping you see where you keep falling short and giving you the tools to rise above it. If you're tired of quitting, tired of starting over, tired of watching others grow while you stay stuck, then listen closely. Because today we go deep into what it really takes to push past that 3-day wall and keep going when everything in you wants to stop. This is about you. This is your shot. And it starts now. Everyone loves a fresh start. The excitement, the energy, the feeling of a brand new beginning, it feels good. You tell yourself, this time I'm going all in. You make plans, set goals, even start taking action. For the first day or two, everything flows. You're motivated, focused, ready. But then reality hits, the energy fades, the work gets real. Suddenly waking up early isn't exciting. The workouts hurt, the business plan feels confusing, the diet isn't fun anymore, and that's when most people quit. This is the illusion of excitement. We confuse motivation with real commitment. Motivation is easy. It shows up when things feel new. But commitment, that shows up when you don't feel like doing anything at all. Most people are in love with the idea of change, but they hate what change actually demands. They think about the result but ignore the price. Day 3 is where it all breaks down. It's not that you can't do it, it's that you didn't expect it to get this hard, this fast. You wanted it to feel good the whole way through. But change never feels good in the beginning. It's uncomfortable because you're tearing down old habits and building new ones. And that process hurts. Let me tell you something. Your goals don't care how excited you were on day 1. They care what you're willing to do on day 3, when nothing feels easy anymore. That's the wall. That's the moment where most people walk away and blame the plan, the timing, the circumstances, everything except the real issue, their lack of follow-through. Here's the truth. What you want and what it takes are two different things. You can dream big all day, but if you can't survive the hard part, you'll stay stuck in the same cycle. You'll keep quitting, starting over and quitting again. And the more you quit, the more it becomes your identity. You start to believe that maybe you're not cut out for more, but you are. You just haven't learned how to push through yet. So ask yourself this, if you keep quitting now, what will you keep quitting next? If you can't get through 3 days of pressure, how will you handle 3 months, 3 years? Every time you walk away early, you make quitting easier. And every time you push through, you make growth possible. You've got a choice. Keep chasing excitement and quitting when it's gone, or build the kind of strength that shows up when the hype fades. Everyone loves a fresh start. The first day feels exciting. You've got new goals, new plans, and a clean slate. You feel powerful, in control, ready to change everything. You think to yourself, this is it, this time I'm serious. That's the illusion. The energy you feel on day 1 tricks you into thinking it'll always be there, but it won't. By day 3, the buzz is gone, the hype wears off, the early morning alarms get harder to answer, the workouts feel heavier, the hunger kicks in, the business idea that once excited you now feels slow and frustrating. The truth hits, this is going to take real work. And that's where most people stop. Let me tell you something, the way you feel at the start doesn't matter. What matters is what you do when that feeling fades, and it will fade. If you rely on motivation alone, you're already on your way out. Motivation is like a match. It flares up fast, but it doesn't last long. If there's nothing underneath it, no deeper reason, no stronger purpose, you'll quit the second it stops being easy. This is where dreams die, not because people didn't want it, but because they didn't expect the process to punch back. That's the trap. We picture the reward, not the work. We fantasize about the finish line, but ignore the uphill climb. So the moment the fantasy starts to feel like reality, we tap out. And this is where you need to wake up. Wanting something doesn't make it yours. Everyone wants something. The difference is that most people want it until it stops feeling fun. Real change doesn't come wrapped in excitement. It comes wrapped in boredom, in sweat, in showing up when you'd rather stay in bed. It comes in choosing the hard thing over the easy one again and again. You have to ask yourself, what do you want more? The feeling of starting over, or the pride of finishing something? Because every time you quit, you train yourself to make quitting a pattern. And if you don't break that pattern, it will follow you into everything, your health, your money, your future. There's a huge gap between what people want and what it actually takes. Everyone wants to win. Few are ready for the sacrifice. Everyone wants results. Few are willing to show up when nobody's watching, when nothing is working, when the mirror shows no progress. But that's exactly where success is born, in those quiet, frustrating, uncomfortable moments. And if you're not willing to stand in those moments, you'll never reach anything worth having. you'll keep quitting, you'll keep wishing, you'll keep starting over. And with every restart, the climb gets steeper, because your self-belief takes a hit every time you walk away. So stop falling for the excitement trap. Stop letting day 3 break you. Learn to expect it, and more importantly, plan for it. Because if you can get through the first few days, if you can hold on when the feeling fades, you'll already be ahead of most people. If you quit now, what will you keep quitting next? Your fitness, your dream, your future. Every decision today shapes the person you become tomorrow. So ask yourself, who are you building, a starter or a finisher? Because the world's full of people who were excited once. What it's missing is people who stayed when it got hard. Be one of them. You start strong, you're fired up, you're ready to win. But then it hits you. That moment when everything feels harder than you expected. The early mornings feel longer, the workouts hurt more, the steps feel heavier. That's resistance. And that's where most people turn back. Not because they don't want it, but because they didn't expect the wall to show up so soon. They thought it would be a straight path. But growth doesn't work like that. Let me tell you something. Every path worth walking has a wall. A wall of doubt, a wall of fear, a wall of tiredness. And this wall doesn't show up to stop you. It shows up to test you, to see if you're serious. It's the gap between what you said you wanted and what you're really willing to do. Most people hit that wall and walk away. They blame the plan, they blame the time, they blame everything except the one thing that matters, how they respond to the pressure. This is where mental weakness shows up, not when things are easy, but when the work gets heavy. The moment it stops feeling good, the mind starts searching for a way out. It tells you to rest, to skip, to try again next week. That voice in your head, the one that sounds like logic, it's often fear in disguise. And if you listen to it too long, it becomes your leader. And fear should never be in charge. You have to understand that your comfort zone isn't safety. It's a silent prison. It locks you into a version of life that looks okay on the outside, but leaves you empty inside. Comfort never built anything strong. It never changed a body, built a dream, or fixed a broken habit. It just keeps you stuck. And what's worse, it convinces you that stuck is normal. That's the danger of comfort. You stop reaching, you stop fighting, you stop growing. You start saying things like, maybe this is good enough, or I'm just not the type for that. And that mindset, that's the real wall. It's not physical, it's mental. And if you don't learn to push through it, you'll keep hitting it in every part of your life. You'll hit it when you try to save money, when you try to fix your health, when you try to change your habits. The pattern repeats. Start strong, hit the wall, quit. And the more times you repeat it, the deeper the habit becomes, until quitting becomes who you are. But it doesn't have to stay that way. The people who break through, the ones who keep going when everything tells them to stop, they unlock something the rest of the world never sees: strength, growth, clarity, and freedom. Because on the other side of the wall is a version of you that's sharper, tougher, and more focused than ever. But you'll never meet that version if you keep giving up the second it gets hard. So when that wall shows up, and it will, you have a choice. Turn back and repeat the cycle, or lean in and fight through. It won't be easy, but nothing worth having ever is. And if you can break through just once, you'll never go back. Because once you've tasted what's on the other side, you'll never settle for less again. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for the perfect day, the perfect mood, or the perfect energy. That day doesn't exist. You don't need permission to move forward. You don't need another sign. What you need is to act right now. Because the people who win aren't the ones who always feel ready. They're the ones who move even when they don't. The truth is, most people waste time chasing motivation like it's some kind of magic fuel. They wait for it to strike, they scroll through videos, quotes, and stories, hoping something will light them up, and maybe for a moment, it does. But then what? What happens when the feeling fades? That's where most people fall apart, because they've built their entire plan around emotion, not discipline. Let me tell you something, motivation is the spark. It might get you going, but discipline is the engine. That's what keeps you moving. That's what shows up every day, no matter how you feel. That's what separates the ones who talk about change from the ones who actually make it happen. Discipline doesn't care about your mood. It doesn't care if you're tired, busy, or unmotivated. It just shows up. Quiet, steady, unshakable. You don't need more motivation, you need more reps. More days where you do the work without the hype. More mornings where you wake up and follow the plan, not because you feel like it, but because that's who you are now. You want to grow? Show up when it's boring, show up when it's hard, show up when no one's clapping, when no one's watching, when you'd rather stay in bed. That's how discipline is built. One decision at a time, one action at a time. Think about athletes, musicians, soldiers, anyone who's great at anything. They didn't get there by riding waves of motivation. They got there through routine, through showing up day after day, even when it felt like nothing was changing, even when it felt pointless, because they knew something most people ignore. Success lives on the other side of repetition. You have to stop treating your goals like an option. If you want it bad enough, you'll stop making it negotiable. You won't ask yourself if you feel like doing it, you'll just do it. You'll treat it like breathing, like brushing your teeth, like getting dressed. Non-negotiable, because that's how real change works. It's not emotional, it's practical. And here's the part that stings. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to force you to change. No one is going to drag you out of bed and into the life you say you want. That's your job, your responsibility, your fight. So you can keep waiting for motivation, or you can start moving without it. Discipline doesn't yell, it doesn't make noise, it just shows up. And when it shows up enough times, it becomes your identity. It becomes who you are. You become the person who doesn't quit, who doesn't need hype, who just keeps going. And that kind of person, that's someone who can't be stopped. So the question is, who do you want to be? The one who waits for the spark, or the one who becomes the engine? Because your future is built on the answer to that choice. One day at a time, one rep at a time, one action at a time. Show up, do the work, be the engine. The first 72 hours are everything. That's the window where most people give up. Not because they can't do it, but because they never had a plan for those first 3 days. They went in blind, full of energy, but with no direction. And when the pressure hit, they folded. You can't afford to make that mistake. If you want to win, you need to attack those first 72 hours with clarity and control. This is where you set the tone. This is where you prove to yourself that you're serious. Day one is all about momentum. This isn't the time to go all out and burn yourself out. This is where you lock in small wins. Wake up early. Show up. Complete the task. Keep it simple. Don't try to be perfect, just be present. The goal is to start stacking proof that you can do this. Think of day one like pushing a car that's stuck. The first push is the hardest, but once you move it a little, everything starts to roll. Don't overload yourself with pressure, just move. Day two is where resistance shows up. The soreness kicks in, the doubts creep in. Your brain starts whispering, wasn't yesterday enough? This is where most people start negotiating. They cut corners, they delay, they say they'll double up tomorrow, but tomorrow isn't promised. You have to fight through the resistance today. Remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself what quitting has cost you in the past. This is the test, and you don't pass it with comfort, you pass it with grit. Show up again, even if it's messy, even if you're tired. Show up. Day three is the wall. This is the real battle. This is the day most people throw in the towel. The initial excitement is gone. The work feels real, and your mind starts looking for the nearest exit. This is where you dig deep. This is where you stop relying on how you feel and start trusting who you're becoming. Anyone can be strong for a day, but day three, that takes something different. That takes heart. This is the day you separate yourself from the rest. Push harder, stay longer, go again. To survive the start, you need structure. You can't just wing it. You need a clear plan, what you're doing, when you're doing it, and why it matters. Write it down, follow it. Don't second guess it every hour. The more decisions you make in the moment, the more likely you are to quit. Eliminate the guesswork. Plan, execute, repeat. That's how you turn chaos into clarity. Because once you win those first 3 days, something shifts. You gain confidence. You feel stronger. Your body starts adjusting. Your mind gets sharper. You stop asking, can I do this? And you start saying, I already am. The momentum you build in those 72 hours becomes your foundation. And with that foundation, anything becomes possible. So here's the truth. Most people lose before the game really starts. They crash before they've even found their rhythm. But you're not most people. You're not here to start over again. You're here to finish something. So focus on the first 3 days like your future depends on them, because it does. Lock in, stay sharp, fight through. Win the start, and you change the story. Win the start, and the rest gets real. Growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from pressure, from being stretched, from being tested. Everything strong in life is forged through struggle. Look around. Steel is hardened by fire. Muscles are built by resistance. Diamonds are formed under intense pressure. The same goes for you. You don't become stronger by avoiding the hard stuff. You grow by going through it. The pain you feel in the process isn't a sign to stop. It's a signal that something is happening, that you're moving, that you're changing. Too many people expect progress to feel good. They expect every day to be smooth. But real growth doesn't feel smooth. It feels heavy. It feels uncomfortable. And that's why so few people stay in the game long enough to see real change. Short-term pain can lead to long-term power if you stop running from it. The soreness in your body, the doubts in your head, the moments where everything feels uphill, that's where the shift is happening. That's where you earn your future. But only if you stay in it. Only if you keep pushing through. Because that pain isn't punishment, it's preparation. If it's easy, it's not worth it. That's the truth. Nothing meaningful is handed out without a fight. The goals that change your life, the ones that matter, come with pressure. They test you, they force you to grow. So when things feel hard, don't back off. Lean in. Don't ask for it to be easier. Ask yourself to be stronger. The path isn't meant to be soft. It's meant to shape you. Stop avoiding pressure. Start using it. Let it shape your character. Let it build your mindset. Let it show you what you're capable of. Because pressure isn't the enemy, it's the proving ground. It reveals who's serious and who's just pretending. It separates the talkers from the doers. You want to get better? Get under some pressure. That's where real development begins. And here's the key. Let pain teach you, not defeat you. Pain isn't there to break you. It's there to build you. But only if you let it. Only if you lean in and learn from it. Every struggle carries a lesson. Every challenge brings a chance to sharpen your mind, your habits, your attitude, but you'll miss it if you're too busy running from discomfort. So don't fear pressure. Use it. Welcome it. Let it push you forward. Let it bring out the strength that's been hiding inside you. Because every time you survive it, every time you come out on the other side, you get better, stronger, wiser, and closer to the life you say you want. Pressure is proof. Proof that you're in the right place. Proof that change is happening. Proof that you're not stuck, you're stretching. And if you can learn to see pressure that way, if you can start leaning into it instead of running from it, you'll unlock a level of growth most people never reach. So keep going. Don't fold, don't hide. Use the pressure and let it push you into the person you were meant to be. If you're walking into something with 1 foot in and 1 foot out, you're already losing. Half commitments lead to half results, and half results leave you frustrated, confused, and stuck. You tell yourself you're trying, you say you're serious, but deep down you're still holding on to the just in case it doesn't work safety net. And that safety net, it's the very thing holding you back. You can't win if you're already preparing to quit. That quiet voice saying, if this doesn't work, I'll just go back to what I was doing, is the reason you keep going in circles. It sounds smart, it sounds safe, but it's stealing your future. Let me tell you something. Real growth doesn't come with a backup plan. It comes with a full decision. Not a maybe, not a soft try. A full, all-in, no turning back decision. Stop hoping things will change. Start deciding they will. Hoping is passive. Hoping waits. Hoping says, let's see what happens. But deciding moves. Deciding says, I don't care how long it takes, I'm in. And that's the difference. Hope looks for the right moment. Decision creates it. There is no maybe on the path to mastery. You don't become great by showing up when it's easy. You become great by locking in, completely. No side door, no escape route, just one direction forward. Every time you give yourself the option to quit, you'll take it. Not right away, but eventually. Because when things get hard, and they will, you'll reach for the backup plan. That's why it has to go. If you're always planning an exit, you'll never win. Champions don't train with one eye on the door. They train like this is it. Like everything depends on it, because it does. You can't build something strong with weak commitment. You have to be willing to close every door except the one in front of you. That kind of focus changes everything. That kind of fire scares average away. So what do? You burn the bridge. You stop giving yourself the option to go back. You delete the backup plan. You cut off the escape. You stop telling yourself, if it doesn't work out, I'll try something else. And you start saying, this is the path. I'm not leaving it until I've made it work. That's what it means to go all in. That's what it takes to stop spinning your wheels and start moving with power. And yes, it's scary. It's uncomfortable. But that's the point. Because the second you remove the exit, your focus sharpens. Your effort increases. You stop wasting time second-guessing yourself. You stop hesitating. You show up different. You move like you mean it. So burn the backup plan. Burn the old stories. Burn the lies that tell you to play it safe. Bet on yourself fully. Not halfway. Not when it's easy. Fully. Because that's what separates the ones who dream from the ones who do. You don't need more options. You need more decision, more grit, more fire. And it starts the moment you stop planning for failure and start fighting for success like it's your only option. Because if you want this life, if you want the change, then stop treating it like a side project. Treat it like everything depends on it, because it does. Starting is easy. That's why so many people do it. New goals, new plans, a new day. It feels exciting. You feel alive. You feel focused. But that's not the hard part. The hard part is finishing. The hard part is staying in it when the excitement fades, when the pressure hits, when the path gets boring or heavy. That's where people fall off. That's why most don't make it. Let me tell you something, there's a reason the top is so empty. Most people never make it past the middle. They start fast, but they lose focus. They want the rewards, but not the work. They talk about goals, but they don't follow through. You have to make a choice. Are you going to be like most people, always starting over, or are you going to be the one who actually finishes? It's not about talent. It's not about being special. It's about building the identity of someone who follows through. Someone who doesn't quit when it's hard. Someone who keeps going even when the progress is slow. That identity isn't built overnight. It's built every time you push through when you feel like stopping. Every time you say, I'm tired but I'm not done. That's how finishers are made. You don't have to prove anything to anyone else, but you do have to prove something to yourself. You have to prove that you can follow through, that you can stick with something long enough to see it grow, that you're not just another person who starts with energy and ends with excuses. Finishing changes you. It sharpens your mind, it strengthens your will, it builds a kind of trust in yourself that no one can take away, because once you know you can finish, you stop doubting what you're capable of. And when you move with that kind of belief, people notice, not because you said something, but because you showed them something. Nobody remembers the ones who almost made it. Nobody talks about the ones who had a good plan but walked away. They remember the ones who finished, the ones who kept showing up, the ones who crossed the line. If you want to leave a mark on your life, on your family, on this world, you have to finish. You're not stuck. You're not broken. You're just one choice away. One choice away from locking in, from burning the maybe and stepping into I will, from moving like it's not a wish, but a decision. And when you make that decision, everything shifts, your focus sharpens, your effort rises, and the people who doubted you, they'll start watching, because they see something different now. So finish it. Finish what you started. Stop hitting reset every time it gets hard. Stop chasing a new start, when what you really need is to stay with what you've got and build it. This is your shot. Your future doesn't need more plans. It needs more follow-through. Make the choice. Build the identity. Become the one who finishes. And once you do, you'll never go back to starting over again.